All right, so Jamal went ahead and finished tiling the floor. So now I'm going to grout and seal it, and then we are building a U-shaped bench for our dining room and a dining room table. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom through this real quick so that it can dry, because it can take a day to dry for the grout and then another day for the sealing. So I'm gonna get started on that. All right, so I used a grout sealer on the lines. I love the little easy applicator. It's just a little brush, and you just literally brush it in the lines. It says to leave it on for 5 minutes, and so right now that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting on this to dry, and then I'll go back and wipe it off. So I'm attempting to do this U-shaped bench. So it's not a full U. One side is going to be a little bit shorter than the other side due to the fact that it's a small room. But I really wanted a bench in my dining room. So this was something that I just saw on Pinterest, and I'm trying it. So my husband will help me in a little bit, but I'm going to try to start and see how far I can get. But one of the things that it showed was that they just screwed the board straight to the wall and then start building out from there. So 18 inches high, and then I'm going to make the cushion that goes on top, and then a cushion backboard. So let's see how this goes. Alright, so I know where our lines are because we built it, so I know that he went up and over when it comes to the electrical line, so I'm really not worrying about hitting anything with screwing this in. Plus it's not going like that far deep. It's just securing it to the wall, and then what we build out here on the outside is going to really stabilize it. So we are going to keep this outlet because we kind of have a little nifty idea of how we can use this outlet, even though we're going to have the booth here. So we'll see that later. So now that I have the first part secured to the wall, now I have to build the back bench and then the two side ones. So I'm going to keep going. Alright, so sometimes when you're using someone else's plan or you're copying it, you run into problems. It's a minor problem. On the Pinterest, this board right here, they screwed it just straight into the floor because they had hardwood floors. Because I have tile, I don't want to screw it into it. As you saw before, Jamal could, but I don't want to. So the easy fix that I found was to just take some scrap wood, and I screwed the bottom, I screwed it up in there, And then now I'm going to screw this into the wall, well, to the board. And then I have 2 more boards that's gonna go, it's gonna secure all of this together. I'm literally finding this to be super easy. It's like just building a box, but I'm doing it bit by bit, and I'm cutting my wood as I go because I've made mistakes before and thought I had my numbers right and cut all my boards and then end up having to cut again. So I'm cutting as I go. It's a little back and forth, but for me, and I'm not great with math, it's working. So I'm gonna keep going. All right, so that is my U-shape bench frame. I am going to go ahead and add a couple more support beams in those open spaces just for some extra support. Then beadboard goes on the outside. But that's it for tonight. I'm tired, and I'll start again tomorrow.